Hi there. We're continuing our journey through the Psalms, the Tehillim, that means the praises in Hebrew, and we are in Psalm 119. And in the Hebrew letter numbering system, that's Kuf, Yud, Tet. Kuf is 100, Yud is 10, and Tet is 9. And so we're looking today at verses 65 to 80. And as we've mentioned before, this is looking at two of the stanzas of the 22 stanzas of this psalm, each stanza beginning with a successive letter of the Hebrew alphabet. So today's stanza begins with this letter, the letter Tet. The letter Tet is the ninth letter in the Hebrew alphabet, so it also stands for the number 9, as we already mentioned, the 9 in Psalm 119. And its ancient meaning is a little bit disputed. Some would say the meaning is a basket or even a snake. Others say it's a wheel because the original pictogram was a wheel with a cross in it. But it is the letter T, and this is the modern way of writing it. And it's actually the letter that begins the word Tov, which means in Hebrew is good. And actually 5 of the 8 lines in this stanza begin with the word Tov, begin with the word good. And remember, this is what God said about the world when he made it, and everything he made. He said it was Tov. And so he said, you have done, the first line in this stanza that the singer sings says, Tov asita imadecha, you've done well, you've done good to your servant. Adonai kedevarecha, Lord, according to your word. So he's saying, God, you're good. Goodness is, there's a lot of good in this stanza, as you can understand. Instruct me in what is good. Tov ta'am, da'at lamdeni. Let me know what is good and what is right. Teach me discretion and insight, because I trust in your directions. Mitzvotecha, I trust in your instructions, in your taking me forward. And then it said, before, when I was in trouble, I wandered off. But now what you say guards me. Shamati, keeps me. I'm keeping guarded by the things you say. Imratcha, shamati, I'm protecting the things you've said to me. And then Tovata umetiv. Now this is a very well-known Hebrew expression. It means you are good and you do good. Tovata umetiv. And it's actually part of a blessing that's said in Hebrew when you hear good news. Blessed are you, Lord God, King of the universe, for you are good and you do good. And so it comes from this psalm. God, you are good and you do good. Lamdeni hukecha, apprentice me in your principles. Saying, God, because you're good, I want to learn from you. I want to know what's good. Even though in the next verse 69, he says, arrogant people have fabricated lies against me. These zedim, these arrogant people have been fabricating sheker, lies, falsehoods about him. But he says, I am going to wholeheartedly maintain pikudecha, your instructions. I'm going to keep to what you said, even though I'm being accused of things by them. And then there's a very interesting phrase here. Tapaska chelev libam. Their hearts are covered in fat, and they're dull and stupid. Their fatty hearts are stupid. It's quite an offensive thing to say, but he's so angry at these arrogant people, their fat, lazy hearts. However, he says, I delight in your Torah formation. I delight in your instruction, Lord. I delight in your direction. And then he says an interesting thing in verse 71. He says, it was good for me to go through troubles. Tovli ki uneti. It was good for me to suffer from some adversity, because then I could learn your principles. Lama'an elmad hukecha. So I could learn the things that you wanted me to learn. And it says the Torah formation is good for me. Tovli Torat picha. The Torah formation of your mouth, the nurture, the instruction that you bring me from your mouth is good for me. And it says it's better for me, me'alfei zahav v'chesef, than thousands in gold and silver. And it's saying that, Lord, the good things that you teach me are better than having many riches. And this is the truth, that God's ways and God's blessings are far greater than having riches. And then we move on to the next stanza, which begins, all the lines begin with this little letter, which is the letter Yud in Hebrew. And the original sign for it was a hand, and Yad is the word for hand in Hebrew. So Yud is to do with the hand and also to do with thanksgiving. This little letter is the sound y, but it's also can be a vowel e, and it appears quite a lot in the Hebrew language. It's actually part of the divine name as well, the first letter of the divine name, Yud He Vav He. And this whole stanza, each line begins with the letter Yud. And actually the first word it uses is Yadecha, your hand. Your hand made me, asuni v'yechanununi, and they set me up, they established me. Now let me understand so that I can learn your directions, mitzvotecha, your commandments, your ways of living, your life ways. And those in awe of you, it says, will be amazed at me. Yerecha, you're the ones who fear you, the ones who are in awe of you, will be amazed at me because I'm celebrating. They will celebrate because your word is my hope. I'm putting my hope in you, and that will amaze others. I know, Lord, your justice is right, and you are faithful even in my sufferings. And so it's this theme again, that even though he's been through some hard times, God's presence is with him and can teach him even through his sufferings. And then he says, Yehina chazdecha lenachemeni. May your chesed, may your covenant bonded grace be my comfort. In the midst of sufferings, he knows that God's covenant obligation is unbreakable. And imratecha la'avdecha, and for what you said to your servant, let it be my comfort. Let your visceral compassion come to me. Yavuni rachamecha. This word racham, we've come across it before. It has to do with the innards, with the guts, with the intestines, in fact. And it's talking about the visceral compassion of God. And let it come to me, ve'ehyeh, and I will live. It will keep me alive. It will revive me, literally. And then he says, let the arrogant ones, these zedim again, let them be ashamed. Yavoshu zedim. Let the arrogant be ashamed because they falsely abused me. While I am meditating, I'm turning over your instructions, the things you told me. And then he's asking God, Yashuvuli yerecha, bring back to me, turn around for me, towards me, those who are in awe of your name. Bring back the godly, Lord, to me. Push away these zedim, push away these arrogant ones, but bring back the godly ones to me, those who are in awe of you and those who know your edotecha, those who know your story, those who know your testimonies. Let me be clean-hearted. Yehi libi tamim behokecha. Let my heart be clean. Let my heart be pure in your principles so that I won't be ashamed. You can hear here the singer is calling out to God for his support in the midst of sufferings, in the midst again of these zedim, these arrogant people who are surrounding him, trying to pull him down. But he's calling on God, God, let me be a friend to those who are in awe of you, because they will be amazed at what you're doing in my life. You are good and you do good, Lord. That's the message of these stanzas. Let's take heart from that today. Let's trust this good God. Have a good day.